Hi Khush, why don't you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Khush. I've been a student at Pathways for the past 8 years or so. I'm going to Cornell in like a few days and I'm pretty excited about it.
And how has your journey with Athena been so far?
It's been a great ride. I'd say I've learned a lot over the past 3 years, but the past 2 years. Um, they've been a great help every step of the way in everything.
What are some of the things that you learned?
So one of the major skills I learned at Athena were learning to value the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake rather than in terms of its effect on my application or something that's like as a facet of my life. The other thing I learned were like skills like self-reflection and self-introspection, which is like a really crucial part in coming up with your application.
It's a difficult process going through that as well because
Yeah,
you're
definitely.
learning so many things about yourself and
Yeah.
putting yourself in a vulnerable
Yeah,
spot.
sure.
And how did Athena kind of help you get to that final point where you have a strongly identified?
The biggest, I think, help from Athena in that sense was I had a lot of ideas swirling in my head and in my essays, but I felt that they never took form or they never took presentable form. And with the help of Rahul and Poshak and everyone at Athena, I was able to give it some form and it crystallized into something good, I would say.
And tell us something about the essay writing process.
Sure. So when I was working on my application before the essay, I thought the essay would be sort of like a formality where I just have to finish it up and send it. But when I sat down to write the essay, I realized it's a lot more difficult than that, and I spent literally weeks googling essays, reading other people's essays, trying to like get a spark of inspiration. But ultimately, I was only able to come up with something after discussing it with Rahul and Poshak, my parents and my friends and all. And that's when I came up with an idea for my essay.
And how was your relationship with your mentor, and how did your mentor help you write the essay?
Definitely. Are you talking about my mentor as in my essay or my research mentor?
Your essay.
Basically, my relationship was that I came to them with the idea, the germ of the idea that, hey, this one I want to write about. Do you think it's a good idea? Should I tweak anything? And they gave me feedback on that. They said that change this, keep that, that's good. And using that information, I went back, I came up with a draft which I thought was pretty good at the time, but now if I read it, I realize that it's pretty terrible. I took it back to Rahul and Poshak, they read it over, they made some tweaks, and it was basically a back and forth between me and them, and after like a long process, we polished it down to the end product, which I think is quite good.
And what about the SAT preparation process?
Definitely. So before coming into Athena, I had already attempted the SAT once, but I didn't get a satisfactory score, I'd say. So I enrolled in the SAT coaching at Athena, and I think the biggest difference was in my old coaching center, it was extremely dry, and we just focused on the material. It wasn't learning; it was just extremely dull learning for the SAT. And the biggest problem with that was that it was hard for me to keep myself interested in it and keep with the program for long enough to see any results. But with Athena, it was more casual. In between essay preparation and between question papers, we talk to each other, we learn about each other's lives, and I think it was quite different and a great experience.
And you're really interested in Indian mythology, right? How do you make that relevant?
I mean, somewhat. My biggest interest in Indian mythology came from all the tales of war, which my parents and my grandparents told me from the Indian mythology between the different factions in the Mahabharata. And the way it came to be linked to my profile and my interests were that I have a deep interest in disciplines like international relations and politics, and I often met moral events and stuff in high school. And I found that recalling the lessons of righteousness and other such qualities taught in the Mahabharata and applying that to my own life as a model learner was quite useful and rewarding in the same.
If there's one thing that you had to take away from your experience at Athena, what would that be?
I think the biggest thing I would take away from my experience at Athena would be to have an open mind to everything that comes my way and to work on it with sincerity and diligence. And if I'm going to do something, I now strive to do it the best I can possibly do it rather than just do it to get it over with.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.